Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic here with another video, live stream discussion. So I think I'm gonna start by prefacing by saying like, look, if you want to come through and you want to join this discussion, if you want to talk, have a conversation about the topic, always feel free to either shoot me a DM, let me know in the live chat, okay. Those are the two ways that generally you can let me know, or send me shoot me like a tweet. All right, if you do one of those three things, I will know. All right, I will know that you want to join the conversation, and bing bang boom, we'll figure it out. All right, but we got to talk about this because people out here wilding. They really wilding, and are just like it's more than uninformed. Because I think, if I just say, hey, dudes out here are uninformed, women out here are uninformed, because this, right, it's not just dudes, but most of the time tends to be dudes that be saying all of these things and just the nonsense. All right. Like the nonsense. Okay. Sorry. All right. We got to talk about sexual assault. I wanted to do this a while ago. But I don't know. It just didn't kind of come up. But I really wanted to, generally talk about this topic. But I also really want to talk about the stuff that happened with between Ariana Grande and let me pull up the pastor's name because I haven't memorized the pastor's name yet. I just call him the groper because a sexual assaulter, because that's what he is. Charles H. Ellis III. All right, the groper, and Ariana Grande. All right, we got to talk about this because I think a lot of dudes out here wilding. A lot of y'all wilding, and why? Because some of y'all just simply don't have an idea what you're talking about. You don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be out here talking about, oh, it wasn't that serious. Oh, Ariana Grande shouldn't have been dressed like that. Oh, it is what it is. This is the black church, blah blah blah. Oh, just crap excuse after crap excuse after nonsensical excuse, and it just keep coming. They just keep coming. It's like wow, and you wake up and you think, you know what? Today's gonna be a bit better. Today's gonna be a good day. Let me chill it. And yesterday I heard about it, and I was like, I gotta see what's going on. I gotta figure things out because people were just kind of tweeting left and right, and I get to see what happened. And now I watched, I read, just ridiculous. Mike Coulter threw out a tweet that was just utterly ridiculous. Just stupid. Just a stupid tweet. Y'all can find it. I don't have it on me right now, but y'all can find it. It's out there. It's been screenshotted. He's already deleted the tweet. He's apologized for the tweet, for what that's worth, because he has a record. He has a habit of tweeting out stupid things, uninformed things and nonsense like that. So yeah, it is what it is. Mike Coulter, I'm not even going to really talk about that guy. Whatever. But we got to talk about how we view sexual assault. That's really important. That's really key. All right, yo, definitely. Key, whenever you want to come through, whenever, let me know, Key. And shout out to Z Boy. What's up? All right, but people out here are ridiculous. Literally, people are talking about, it wasn't really sexual assault. He's not a sexual predator. Louis C.K. isn't a sexual predator. I'm like, do we have to talk about what it means. Like, do I have to be like, okay, class, this is this is what, you know, sexual assault means. This is what it means to be a sexual predator. Like, Google's out there, y'all. It really is. And too many of y'all don't want to Google. You don't want to even, you don't, not, and part of, some of y'all don't want to Google, period, about this stuff. Some of y'all want to Google, but you want to like only look at the things that match your own definitions of sexual assault and sexual harassment and rape and all these other things, right? And all these other awful things, right? And I'm like, there's a way in which sometimes some people will say, oh, well, you know, the like US laws have sort of like stipulations, right? Well, they'll say, okay, there's like first degree sexual assault, second degree, third degree, right? There's rape, sexual harassment, and there are laws that sort of dictate, you know, the differences between those based on like age, the age of the person that's been assaulted, or is doing the assaulting, you know, the certain acts, right? I would say the biggest thing when it comes to, let's say, if we're talking about sexual assault and rape, I think we have to talk about that first. I think we have to talk about that first, because too many people make this sort of like false like comparison, where they're like, oh, well, you know, sexual assault is not as bad as rape. And I'm like, well, one, rape is sexual assault. So you've already done like a stupid thing there by trying to be like, well, sexual assault and rape is it, right? But what we do understand that not all sexual assault is rape, right? We understand that because there is a distinction, right? But what people tend to do, right, is that they misunderstand what the point of like a distinction is, right? A distinction is simply to say like this thing is not that thing, right? It's not some sort of like, you know, way in which we gauge like the awful nature of like a particular act or something like that. Like if you are one of those dudes that's going on and trying to like compare, you know, let's say what happened to Ariana Grande, which is sexual assault, by the way. Okay, that's what that is. That pastor sexually assaulted Ariana Grande. That's what happened. That's what happened. Too many people don't want to say that. They don't want to, oh, it's too harsh. It's too harsh. Like, and that's the sort of thing, right? That's the sort of thing that's like really telling, right? It's like when we, right? Because even when we're talking about, I think even when we're talking about rape, and I'm sorry, I should have like set up like a trigger warning. I'll set up like a trigger warning in the title. That's something I should have done before I started the stream. But like when we're talking about, rape, right? There is a way in which even that conversation gets really ridiculous, and you have guys who are trying to like people who try to downplay a rape, which is just utterly ridiculous, right? Utterly ridiculous. I don't know who, like, I don't, like, I just have to say, I don't know these dudes, like, personally. I don't know, but I know they trash, all right? For you to try to, like, downplay sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, in any way is really just kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you spending so much energy trying to do that? Why are you spending so much energy trying to downplay these things? What's right? And because the next question that I think for me is like that sort of leads us to that initial question sort of leads us to is like, what's in it for you? What's in it for you, right? Like you have to ask those people like, what's in it for them to downplay these things? Why do they feel like that's a positive thing to do? And oftentimes, right, you hear these, you know, ridiculous comments like, well, you know, we got to be fair, and we have to be, we have to like make sure that things are like logically sound. I'm like, whenever you hear like buzzwords like that, just know it's a lot of nonsense. All right. Nonsense. Okay? Because rape is bad. Rape is terrible. It's horrible. All right? Period. Same thing with sexual assault. Same thing with sexual harassment. They're all bad. They're all bad. All right? They're all bad. This is something, it's got to get through your heads. It's got to get through your heads. Because too many of y'all are like making these weird distinctions. Like, oh, well, you know, this isn't as bad as that. This isn't bad. Why? The question I have for you is why? Again, why make those distinctions? What's in it for you? How does that, like, right? Like, how does that make, how does that help people who deal with this all the time, right? This is both men and women, people, right? How does that help people for you to say, oh, well, this isn't as bad, right? Are you gonna go to somebody that's dealt with sexual assault that wasn't rape and be like, well, you know, at least you weren't raped? Really? That's what you're gonna do? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna go to somebody that's being sexually harassed and be like, well, you know, at least it wasn't that. How is that helping the person at all? Okay, what are you doing? Why? But some of y'all will just be like, well, you know, there were differences, and like some of y'all want to be so intellectual in a needless and just irresponsible manner, right? You will go and talk to people who are women in particular, right, who are dealing with these things, men as well, right? And you will just say these just absurd statements without any regard for the people that you're talking to. None. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I constantly see these things. Constantly see these things. I'm like, well, at least I'm not doing that. At least I'm not doing that. You know, all I'm doing is just, you know, I'm just making women uncomfortable. Ain't no thing. Just making women uncomfortable. No thing. It's not a big deal, right? To you, and if that's the case, if it's not a big deal to you, you have to re-examine that. Like, why? Right? You gotta look at yourself. You got, again, self-reflection, y'all. Self-reflection, conversations. Those are key. Those are key. Those two things, right? Conversation, self-reflection. You got to do that, because if you're like, man, that ain't no thing, man. You know, I'm just bothering women on a bus. You know, whenever I can do that whenever I want. It's not a big deal. I can do that, right? Self-reflect. Listen to yourself. All right, listen to yourself. All right, and think about why that's both super harmful, toxic, disgusting, whatever words you want to use, bad, okay? And then, you know, be willing to change and be willing to do the work, all right? Do the work and keep doing the work, okay? Like, to get back to the Ariana Grande and what's this guy? The Groper. I'm just gonna call him the Groper. I'm not calling him by his name. I'll do that. All right, that's what he is, the sexual assaulter. All right. Getting back to that, there are a few things that we sort of have to discuss, right? Just because you apologize for an act doesn't erase the act, right? Doesn't, right? Doesn't, right? And the pastor's apology wasn't even particularly good. You know what I mean? I encourage y'all to go and like check that out. All right. But apologies aren't particularly useful unless there is work, right? That follows that, restorative justice, whatever, whichever you want to sort of go with, right? There's got to be something that comes after that. You can't just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna go back to, doing the same thing, and maybe I'll make that mistake again. But I'm just a man. I'm just a man. I make mistakes. We're all human. Like, dude, if you do the thing that's wrong and people are calling you out and saying that this thing was wrong, yeah, you gotta apologize. Definitely, it's gotta be sincere. We'll thought out. All right, and with purpose. There should be a purpose behind that apology, right? Then the next thing that comes after that apology is the rest of the work, right? Being a better person, not assaulting women. Yeah, that's one thing that should come after that, right? Like this is basic stuff, but like dudes are out here talking about, well, I'm gonna mess up, and they make it sound so simple, but it's like, no. When you say, I'm a dude, I'm gonna mess up, when it's in the context of sexual assault, when it's in the context of rape, when it's in the context of sexual harassment, that means you are either right. You are messing with the ability for a woman or a man or person to be comfortable in a space that they should be comfortable in, period, right? And then and you do that repeatedly. That's what's happening. It's not just I make mistakes. I make mistakes. That, like, come on, people out here, some of y'all dudes that you try to simplify these things and you try to make it seem like it's no big thing, but I really want to know how many of y'all are actually talking to these women and these men who have dealt with this. How many of y'all really doing that? Before you come to me talking about, what are you gonna do? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, things happen. How many of y'all have talked to them? I don't know how many of y'all have, right? Consistently, you know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, I talked with one victim, and I talked with one victim, and I took one, well, not victim, I don't want to say that, but I talked with one, a survivor, or woman, and or guy or person, and they told me it's all right for me to da da da. I'm like, that was one person that you talked to. They do not represent. They don't have the ability to give you license to feel that these things are okay and that you can simplify these things and you can just kind of go on with your life and do whatever. Nah, doesn't work like that. All right, the pastor clearly, very clearly, all right, very clearly put his hand, groped Ariana Grande's breast, very clearly, and did it for a while, right? I have to say did it for a while, but it doesn't really matter. The amount of time doesn't matter, really, in the sense that he groped her, period, right? But some of y'all are so desensitized and are so conditioned to believe that that's something that's okay. And that's just like, it is what it is, It's like, it's a little terrifying. And it's not just worrying. I can say, oh, this is worrying, but actually it's terrifying because it's like, there's so many of y'all out there that are like, yo, this is cool. Like, I can just, go up to a woman and just like, pull close and I might not know her at all. We're not friends, and she'd be like, like, yo, that's too much. Nope. All right. It's just baffling. Absolutely baffling. My goodness. All right. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like, again, like, right, like it doesn't matter which one it is, whether you're talking about sexual harassment, whether you're talking about assault, or more specifically, right? Red. Like they're all bad things. Don't do that. And that's very, to me, that's like that's very simple, right? It shouldn't take much to be like, I'm not going to like, right, I'm gonna ask for consent, right? Consent matters, right? What am I gonna do? All right. And then like that's not hard. And again, to sort of go back to the stuff with Ariana Grande, like people talking about, oh, the dress was inappropriate, blah blah blah, and it seemed like, and I think this is the case, a lot of people, especially dudes, women as well, in this particular instance, right? We're talking about, oh, the dress was inappropriate. She was, going around, trying to entice the man. I'm like, something tells me Ariana Grande is not trying to entice Bill Clinton. I'm sorry. I doubt it. At Aretha Franklin's funeral, I doubt it. I doubt that Ariana Grande is like, I'm engaged to to my fiance, but I'm gonna go to a funeral and wear this dress to entice Bill Clinton and this pastor and all these other men out here. I'm pretty sure that's not what Ariana Grande wanted to do. I'm pretty positive. But some of y'all will just take it to this other place, like, you know how women are. They always trying to, they was trying to, they was trying to dress for you and and everything like that. I'm like, Ariana Grande works with a stylist, and the stylist was like, this dress will look really great on you, right, for this funeral, and you're gonna perform. So I want you to look great when you perform. The dress to me was fine. It wasn't no thing. Some of y'all acting like she went out there with no clothes on, and performed like some sexual act on stage. That's not what Ariana Grande did, folks. Sorry. That's not what she did. What I could tell, she sang. All right, she sang a song on stage. One of Aretha Franklin's most famous songs. Okay, top 5 songs. All right. And she did a good job. How I feel about the performance and the singing, that's neither here nor there. That's like for another like video. All right, because we're not talking about that. Okay, I don't really get it. And a lot of y'all dudes don't want to talk. Oh yeah, yo, Keith, I'm pretty sure. Usually, when you have someone who is who can do that so publicly to incredibly famous figure like Ariana Grande, and just be like, ain't no thing, like they are a repeat offender, definitely. All right, people would be like, yeah, you don't know. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can keep saying that, that's fine. Sounds stupid, but all right. I'm certain. And this is something like, it's something, within the Black church, this happens all the time. Churches, period. This ain't just a Black church. This is like spaces, right? Happens all the times, right? Dude, he in the cloud, yo, Key. He in the clouds. He just chilling. He's like, yeah, it's all good. We chilling. We just assaulting women. That's all we do. We not even like, he doesn't even see it like that. He just sees it as like, I was just being friendly. That's how dudes like they change the language so that they don't have to deal with the guilt and the consequences of their actions. They just like, I was just chilling, man. And this is stuff like I've heard from like people that I used to consider friends, like in high school, early college. You know what I mean? You just hear the disgusting stuff, just disgusting thing after disgusting thing, Nasty. Guys who just like grab a woman, like, what, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Without any type of consent, you know, just ridiculous, just ridiculous. But it's like, this is clear. This is a very clear cut case. All right. And I think the thing, again, that is extremely troubling is, one, the fact that it happened, right? Two, the fact that it happened where it happened, right? Where it happened, right? A funeral for a extremely famous singer in a space, right? Wherein equally, I guess, like famous individuals were around. Okay. And three, the conversation on a certain side where people are just like, you know, Ariana, she kind of, you know, she was kind of asking for, you know, she should have done this, you know, she should have done that, she should have done this, she shouldn't have worn that dress, she shouldn't have, you know, let him hold her for that long. You should have done something. Blah, 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 blah. Excuse, 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 excuse. All right? Like, bruh. When you say it in that way, it's like, I don't know how much more clear you could be. But still, you have people that are just like, you know, come on. And that's telling. That's telling. Whenever you hear women on social media, right, talking about how men who generally defend sexual offenders, right, and sexual predators, there's a difference, right? Right. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but like right after this comment. But whenever you see women on Twitter, and it's usually women. Men too, there are dudes out there and they're doing that, myself included. All right, who are like, yo, whenever you see people who defend abusers, offenders, predators, right, sexual abusers, sexual predators, sexual offenders, right, when you see that, that tells you something about how they view that. It tells you something about how they view sexual assault, about how they view sexual harassment, about how they view rape, and the abuser and the abused. Right? There's a difference, and that difference is dangerous. Right? And women will talk about that all the time, and then dudes would just be like, no, well, you know, you just got to be logical. You have to like look at these things. Right, and you just have to say, you know, let's focus on this, but let's also focus on the other thing. And I'm like, no. All right, why are we defending this pastor at all? Why are we making that attempt? What is the purpose? That's sort of one of my questions, like to these folks out here trying to be like, you know, trying to come at Ariana, right? Right, because when you come at Ariana in that instance, you're defending the pastor. That's what you're doing, right? You are in different sort of like in different ways attempting to absolve this pastor of what he did, right? Of his crime. All right, that's what you're doing. But a lot of y'all don't want to see that. You just want to be like, you know, I'm just trying to be logical. I'm just trying to be the logical person. I'm just trying to be, you know, just trying to be objective. I'm like, dude, shut up. I'm sorry. No. All right. Just ridiculous. Okay. It's just mind-boggling. And so let's talk about. I wanted to talk about like the sexual predator and a sexual offender, because a lot of people, one would say that this pastor, right, the groper, right, and Louis C.K. aren't sexual predators, and they most certainly are, they most certainly are sexual predators. Dudes out here are talking about, man, Louis C.K. ain't no sexual predator. You know, he just, all he did was, you know, he, you know, planned to, you know, sexually, you know, harass and masturbate in front of women. And, you know, if they just happen to be like, nah, then I'd be like, all right, no, whatever. Without thinking about how powerless those women felt in those situations. And the fact that, of course, Louis C.K. did it because, like, he's a sexual predator, right? Sexual predators are essentially individuals who seek to find prey and sexually abuse them. All right. So a sexual predator doesn't ever have to become a sexual offender. You know what I mean? Because sexual offenders, that's like a very that's like a legal term. You know, and it's also not, but I think like that's like an actual legal term, right? Where you are a sexual offender, you can be labeled that by law. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. I guess the sad thing is I always want to say I don't get something, like I don't get this, I don't get that, but I totally get it. I totally get it. You know what I mean? Like I totally get it. I know where this need, this compulsion to defend you know, sexual offenders and sexual predators. I know where this I know where this compulsion comes from. You know, especially for dudes, you know, who do that all the time. You know, I know where it comes from. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just a lot of nonsense and just incredibly sad, you know? I don't know. Right? It's just ridiculous. I mean, like Louis C.K. like clearly, right? Clearly, right? And he admitted to doing these things, and people still like, nah, he wasn't a sexual predator. I mean, it wasn't, you know, he's just weird, right? Nah, he's not. I wouldn't even use that word. I wouldn't even use the word weird, because I think weird entails something that is hard to sort of like compute or understand, or something that just falls super far outside the realm of like you know, sort of basic sort of understanding. I'm like, no, it doesn't, because it's very clear what Louis C.K. is. Louis C.K. is a sexual predator, you know, period. And I think what's also funny, all right, if we want to go back to the Ariana Grande passer stuff, Groper stuff, the Groper, all right, is just how willing people are to sort of want to look like they're like, oh, we're just looking at both sides. I'm trying to see it from the view of this guy. I'm like, for what? For what? Right? And like, you know, I want to understand why, you know, I'm like, nah, we got it. We good. We already understand. We already understand. We don't need you, random person on Twitter, to be like, yo, but you got to see it from his point of view, or you got to see it from their point of view, because you know you might not like. Nah, we already understand. We got it. We got it. We chilling. Yeah, we got it. We got it. We good. We don't need that. We don't need that opinion. We good. Sorry. We fine. All right. Again, the pastor is a sexual predator and a sexual offender. All right. Right. Because he preyed upon Ariana Grande and then violated Ariana Grande. All right. That's what happened. That's what happened. But people will, again, you see it. You'll see it on Twitter. You'll see it through feeds and stuff like that. People will just be like, you know, I mean, look, I mean, it wasn't like he, you know, it wasn't like he like assaulted her. It wasn't like he raped her. You know, it was just like, you know, he just, that ridiculous language. And I'm like, again, what you have to do, you got to reflect. You got to be able to look at yourself and say, like, why am I saying that? Why am I trying to downplay what this person is doing? Again, how does that, right? How does me, like, right, like, how does my downplaying, how does my, you know, downplaying of this individual's vile act help anybody in any way besides Mr. Groper? You know what I mean? Again, people, like, a lot of y'all don't want to do that. A lot of y'all dudes don't want to do that. You don't want to do the work. You just want to be like, oh, you be chilling, you good. You know, it is what it is. We'll move on. It ain't no thing. And what all of you will do often, I don't care about Griffith or whatever, because like that's in the context of that particular world. And I think people know that he did like that. That's like a mess. But you know what I mean? We're talking about this reality, right? It was terrible. It was terrible. And dudes, I don't know, because I think this is such a basic level, like, yo, this dude is trash. Ariana Grande was assaulted. Be, you know, like, change, go to therapy, do the work you got to do, put out an apology that's not trash. You know what I mean? Work to help women, you know, with you know, eliminating sexual assault and stuff like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just basic stuff. You know, the first question is like, like, I'm not concerned about what, one, I'm concerned about that, but I'm most concerned is like, why did you grab her? Why'd you grab her? This is something that certain people within like, with like power, right? They do. So a lot of them don't have a concept of like personal space when it comes to to someone other than themselves, right? When it comes to them, they're like, yo, look at me. Especially dudes, they're like, yo, look at me. Right? Women too. All right, it's not just men. All right, like, you know, look at me. I got this power, right? Katy Perry did something that was extremely similar. Disgusting. Right, where she made a contestant extremely uncomfortable and forced him and goaded him into kissing her. It was weird. Not weird, right? Look at me saying this same stupid words that people be using, right? It was like disgusting. Right? So yo, why did he grab her at all? Again, consent is key. Can't just go around people. Can't do that. All right. I remember I had a like a grand aunt or whatever. If you, I don't know what the right term is for it or whatever. But like, you know, she'd always they'd always come over and like and she'd always like kiss um my five brothers and me on the cheek or whatever. And it was just, and, you know, and then it got to a point like, you know, where I hit a certain age and I was like, nah, I'm good. You know? You know, and she was like, oh no, 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 no. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I've already stated nope, don't want to. Nope, we good. And then my brothers were also like, nah, you know what? Yeah, I don't want her to kiss me on the cheek no more. Nope, we good. You know what I mean? It's just like these are things that like normally you're like, oh, I can't say anything. It's just the way it is. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You have every right to be like, hey, I don't want you to physically make physical contact with me in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. Right? So I was like, no, I'm good. You know, and if something makes me uncomfortable, if like someone that I barely know tries to like kiss me on like a cheek or something like that, I'm like, swerve, swerve. All right, because it makes me uncomfortable. And they may be like, oh, that was weird. And I'm like, yeah, to you. To me, it was like, I don't know you like that. So swerve. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey. All right. You have the right to say, I don't want to be touched in this way. Right. In a majority of situations. Okay. So I don't want to hear the stuff about, it was the vibe. It was the vibe. It was the place. I'm like, ugh, Lord. All right. People out there, mods out here. Truly, 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 truly. What's up, Neptune Jr.? What's up, Family Guy? You know, people out there, mods out here. And this is the thing, right? It's not like this comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's not like it comes out of nowhere. Like when like a dude feels like, right, he's able to do these things because on one hand, the guy is trash, but on the other hand, there's a way in which like, right, people allow it to happen. You know, say nothing, like, oh, you know, it ain't none of my business to talk about someone being assaulted or dealing with sexual abuse or any of the above, right? None of my business. I'm gonna do that. I'm like, yo, no, it is definitely your business, right? It is definitely your business. But the thing to remember is that there are particular ways to handle those situations, to handle certain situations, right? You're right. You're not going to be able to just like go to the authorities in every situation. You have to be extremely careful, right? And you have to be able to talk with the person that's dealing with the sexual harassment or abuse, right, or assault, right? And you have to be careful about that. You have to make like you can't just kind of like go like renegade or and like do your own thing without the consent of that person or anything like that. Like you can't just go around doing that stuff. You got to make sure that you are trying to do things, but you have to do it in a way that doesn't put the person like in danger, in more danger than they're already in. You know what I mean? So like again, there's a way to approach that. But I think when it comes to this situation, it's like, yo, get this pastor out of here. Get him out of here. This is very. It's very straightforward. Y'all don't need that pastor. No, you don't. You don't need that pastor. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Very, very, very straightforward. But again, people will be like, no, he did so much for the community. I mean, and I'm like, yeah, he probably did a lot for the community, and he's also like assaulted a lot of women, right? And whenever people think about sexual assault, they always immediately go to, oh, a black guy, bruises, stuff like that. But I'm like, dude, when we talking about sexual assault, okay? When we're talking about sexual assault, because the term, right? So I'm on the RAIN website, and the RAIN website is all right, this is an acronym for Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, okay? All right, and it was actually founded, I think in like the 90s, like the early 90s or mid 90s or something like that, by Tori Amos. Tori Amos is a pretty famous musician, artist, pretty dope artist. I like her music a lot. My fiance is like a massive. I mean, to say like is a massive. She's a massive fan of Tori Amos is like is just like a gross understatement. There aren't any words to that, you know. But that being said, again, RAIN is a great RAIN.org. All right, it's a great website. When you have questions about this kind of stuff, head over there. Right, you can always head to like government certain government websites to look up how certain laws work and things of that nature. How legally certain things are defined, and generally how people who are like scholars on this topic and stuff like that define this stuff. When we talk about sexual assault, all right, this is on the RAIN website. Check it out. All right, it says sexual assault can take many different forms, but one thing remains the same: it's never the victim's fault. All right, what is sexual assault? The term sexual assault refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs without explicit consent of the victim. Some forms of sexual assault include attempted rape, fondling or unwanted sexual touching, forcing a victim to perform sexual acts, such as oral sex or penetrating the perpetrator's body, penetration of the victim's body, also known as rape. All right, and it just, and there are other things here that says like, what is rape, what is force, who are the perpetrators, right, stuff like that. Okay, and you can look that up. You can go into that. Check out the website. Do that. I implore all of you to do that if you haven't. But it's like, this is like basic stuff. This is stuff like you got to look into, because if you don't even know like how sort of sexual assault is defined and what it looks like and stuff like that, you have no business going around telling people that like, well, that wasn't sexual assault. You don't even know. You're not informed. You're not informed. Right? You have no business going around tweeting about, well, it wasn't that big deal. You have no business. You have no business. Stop, take a breath, Google, talk to some people, and then come back and maybe you realize that like the tweets that you were, throwing out there were really like ridiculous and grossly uninformed and quite frankly, harmful and stupid. Okay, like you gotta do that work. All right, now I've already done that before, but just now it took me like that normally that take me like 2 minutes maybe to look that stuff up and to find that stuff and to find that information. So you know what I mean? Like, it's like too many of y'all don't want to do that. You don't. I don't know. All right. And I think if we sort of talk about manga, let me put that in the chat, in the live chat. Definitely, I got you, Keith. All right. If you go to the manga, if you want to talk about manga, right? If you want to talk about manga, you can. What you'll see often is like people just give characters excuses, and they're like, it's just a character. The character grew up there. It wasn't even a big deal. This other person was like cool with it. It was fine. I'm like, sometimes whenever y'all say that, you don't even realize if a character was cool with it or not. I don't even know what you're looking at. It's just like, ugh. No, yeah, yo, Family Got facts. It's very like one thing that you should do, even if you're not in like enrolled in like a college or something like that, you can always like you know, depending on like the connections you have or the people that you know, maybe you know a college student who knows someone who can like, you know, link you up with a particular professor or something like that. And this stuff that happens all the time. You can always try to like, you know, sit in on a lecture, you know, things like that. There are professors that will like gladly set something like that up if you're willing, you know, if you want to say, hey, like I'm, you know, maybe I want to sit in a lecture or two, you know, just to see what's going on and what you're learning about and everything like that. Gladly. All right. I encourage people to do that. And for me, like that was really necessary because, like, you know, there was definitely a point where I was like, it ain't no thing, it ain't no thing, you know, because like I was like that. That's why I know there are guys who were just like, you know, and when you're in it, and you're just like, man, I don't even understand what I did. I don't even get it. It's because like the way in which the way in which you empathize is very what's the word? Right, it's like specific to like certain like people, right? Like they're only right. It's like you make a choice to say, oh, I'm gonna empathize with that person, but not with that person. Oh, I'm gonna empathize with other dudes, but I'm not gonna empathize with women. You know what I mean? Like, and that's different. You got to be able to like have certain conversations with women, hear what they're saying, listen to them, ask questions if you need to. All right. You know what I mean? You know? It's just like, that's what you got to do. You know, it's work. And like learning should be something that you want to do. You should want to like learn about things. You should want to grow, you know? Selective, yes. Yes. Thank you, the heart. This is the thing. Like, it's like I will have the word on the tip of my tongue, and then I'm like, why can't like I don't know why it's happening to me more often. It's weird because I teach like, you know, kids like you know, SAT words and like test words and stuff like that. And and I'm like, I can't like pull a word like out of my hat or something like that. It's always weird when it happens. But yeah, selective, right? Selective empathy is what I would call it. You know? Where you're like, oh, you know, I'm only gonna empathize with these people, but not those people. You know what I mean? And like that's something like you can't really afford to, like you like. It's not to say that like you can't ever do that. Like, but I think even with like awful people, you can empathize, but it's not about like right, but there's a difference. Some people think that like when you empathize with like evil people, like you sympathize with them, and that's not the thing. The thing is like, you can say, oh, I have an idea of what this person is thinking, and I know that this is wrong, you know, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It leads you to a different place. A lot of stuff. Oh man. All right, I think I'm good. You know, I think that's what I wanted to say. I think there are just way too many people, and just a lot of dudes. But in this instance, there were a lot of women out here just out their minds. This particular instance, a lot of women out here out their minds. So I'm like, well, you know, she shouldn't have worn that dress. You know what I mean? She shouldn't have worn that dress. She shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done this. You know, like stop. Embarrassing stuff. You know, that was so inappropriate. Ariana Grande wore that dress like she was trying to catch a man or something. Like, one, she has a dude. Ariana has never seemed to be someone who was like a cheater or anything like that, unfaithful or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like when you see stuff like that, Lot of stuff, lot of stuff. Again, it's very revealing about the ways in which people view other people. Okay. Again, I'm pretty sure Ariana Grande did not put the dress on and thought, you know what? Gonna try to hook me Bill Clinton. Gonna try to hook me Jesse Jackson. Gonna try to hook me pastor, trash pastor. You know, pretty sure that's not that. I'm pretty sure she wasn't trying to do that. All right, pretty sure Ariana Grande was like, I want to look nice to right, so that I could respect Aretha Franklin and sing this song. And she looked nice. Ariana Grande to me looked nice. She looked great. You know, it was a good look. And you know, it's the sort of thoughts of like an older kind of, to me, like an older generation that's like, she should have worn that. I'm like, stop. Stop. You know what I mean? It's just too much. It's just a lot of nonsense. Too many people's like, just nonsense. Okay. So we gotta stop that. We gotta stop that. All right, I'm gonna stop now because I've been going on for like close to an hour. And I think I've said what I wanted to say. I think I have. All right. I'm probably gonna be in that stream tomorrow. The My Hero and the One Piece stream tomorrow. So I think that's gonna be like at 3 or around 3. Roger's usually pretty good with time. So I'll be in there. All right. And you know, we're gonna chop it up. All right. A lot of silly stuff that's been going on lately. But you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, if that's entertaining, you know, so long as it doesn't go to a certain place, I think it's fine. It's not a big deal. But you know, tomorrow should be fun. All right. But again, basic stuff. Check out check out these websites. All right. I'm gonna put another link in the live chat. So again, if you want to, you know, check out the end of the live chat to, you know, to see some of these links. Okay. I'm gonna put them all in just kind of like an order. All right. And they're just, you know, decent like resource, like pretty good resources when it comes to like sexual harassment, sexual assault, rape. Okay. All right. And again, look in the live chat because like that's just where I put things. And you know, with my videos, the live chat is usually if not always available. At least more recently, but the videos after that option was made. All right. So I gotta get out of here. It is 11:12. Okay. I got a bunch of things I gotta do. Tomorrow. All right, y'all. I'm a Black Manga Critic, y'all, and I'm gonna keep doing this. People are like, why does you keep doing this stuff? Why does he keep doing social justice warrior stuff? I'm like, one, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. All right, in that way. If it means, you know, you know, defending women, being a good ally, you know, making some of y'all more informed, helping y'all to like not be trash. You know what I mean? When it comes to certain things. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. All right, because I have to, and because I think it's just sorely needed. It's just like, especially within this community, it's just sorely needed. Like, it is. All right. That's not to say I'm the only one doing that, because there are plenty of other people doing that. But you know, one more voice doesn't hurt. It only help. You know. So, I'm the Black Manga Critic. This is just, you know, a little bit like me discussing, you know, my thoughts on the Ariana Grande and the Groper situation, sexual assault. I'm gonna put a trigger warning in the title, okay, so that when people see the title, they'll be like, oh, okay, let me make sure that like I kind of like mentally prepare myself and stuff like that. All right. Yeah, edit it now. At the video now. All right. All right. And like, yo, let me get out of here. All right. I'm the Black Manga Critic, y'all. Thank you all for coming through. This is one of my more important, to me, one of my more important videos. I'm always gonna try to do more content like this. All right. So, and also feel free, to like ask me if you want me to talk about other topics and stuff like that. Let me know. Let me know. All right. I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta get some sleep. All right. And I'm out you.